how's it going, Studman? Coming right back at you, and today I'm going to be talking to you about the one, the only, the new Halloween movie that just came out. The one that's like I don't know if you can say it's a sequel to the original. Like, I feel like they're trying to stay away from calling it a sequel or a prequel or whatever, or even a reimagining for that matter, but in order to kind of understand what's going on in the movie, you do have to have at least the base understanding of having watched the first original movie, and it might also help to have watched the second movie. You don't need to have watched the third or anything else after that. The second one's optional, and the first one I would say is absolutely required viewing. So, because the first one is required viewing, I think it's fair to actually call this a sequel. But regardless, just wanted to give you my thoughts on the movie. I've already seen at least one review that I thought was stupid. Leave it to Blu-ray.com. They always have some of the stupidest reviews. I mean, I'm sorry, but some of the people on there don't know what the hell they're talking about. And in this case, they didn't know what the hell they were talking about. I think their main complaint was that it treads too much of the same ground as the original Halloween movies. And I'm just like, that's what people paid for. That's what we wanted. You idiots. It's the same complaint I had about all the reviews for the new Pacific Rim Uprising that came out earlier this year. People complaining, oh, it looks too much like a toy commercial. It looks like an 80s cartoon come to life. Again, that's what we wanted. That's what we paid for. So, clearly some critics just don't understand the audience, and if they don't understand the audience, maybe they should shut the hell up. I'm just saying. If there's an audience for something, consider that audience before you go off on how, oh, it's just the same old thing all over again. Like, shut up. You're an idiot. Shut up. But I digress. I digress as I love to do. So what did I think of the movie? Well, I loved it, as you can probably tell already. But yes, I loved it. It's definitely a different Halloween movie than you might be expecting. One of the things that I think is primary, a central focus of the Halloween series, at least the first two movies, is this whole idea that terrible, horrible things can happen right in your backyard. They're coming to suburbia. The bad guys, the people who want to kill you, are coming to suburbia, or they're from suburbia, and the people from suburbia are the ones that are scary. You know, that whole kind of thing, which, I mean, I guess that kind of thing sort of had been done before that. And certainly you had a lot of sci-fi B-movies in the 50s and 60s that kind of tread that whole they're among us thing because of, anti-communism shtick. But regardless of the whole idea that the they're among us story isn't new, that was very much a part of the original Halloween movie. I think it's inextricable from the original Halloween movie. This whole, they're in your backyard. The one who's going to kill you is in your backyard, and he's going to get you, and that's what you should be afraid of. And I think that's what made it such a visceral and memorable horror movie. I think that's what made it stick and what made it work so well. Because, well, even the facts belie what they're showing you in the movie. You know what I mean? If you go and look at murder statistics, I mean, who really does? But I've seen them a few times, and every time I see statistics about people killing or hurting other people, usually it's people in their own community. They don't go to other communities to commit crimes. They stay typically in their own community. So that whole idea that the person who is evil and is going to kill you and is a bad guy and the boogeyman, quote unquote, being in your backyard is absolutely true. It's absolutely 100% true. It's played out by the statistics. Statistics show that's kind of how this stuff works, which makes it feel more real when you watch a movie like this. So My main problem, again, I really liked the new Halloween movie, but my main problem with it is they don't quite decide on where they want to be. And granted, because of the way it's written, and it's written very well, but because of the way the plot's written, because of where certain characters are portrayed as being, it can't work the same way it did in the original one. There's nothing wrong with that, though, because I actually really like the way it was written. I like the fact that they put this character where they did. I don't want to give away anything in particular. This is going to be a pretty much spoiler-free movie review. But suffice it to say that there are some scenes that take place in a house in a secluded area, essentially. And then there are scenes that take place in suburbia, right? And the suburbia ones are the ones that feel like proper Halloween. But when they go to the other locations, when they end up taking this story places that it never was originally intended to go, essentially, because of the whole theme being they're among you kind of stuff. Because of that theme being in the original movie, it really feels like a different movie. This movie feels very different, very removed from the original film. But of course, in this film, it's been 40 years since the tragic events that took place on Halloween in the movie Halloween. So, it's really hard to judge it based on that, but I do have to say the mere fact that it has this whole part of the movie that happens in a house in the middle of nowhere, right? Because it has that going on in it, it's not exactly the same as the original film where it's all set in suburbia. This is removed slightly from suburbia. And I don't think I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. It's just, it makes it different. And it doesn't really, quite frankly, work as well for me, at least not in the same way. It does work, and I do think it does work well. It's just not exactly the same. So when that author of that stupid review said, they're just retreading the same ground, I'm just like, actually, no, they're not. This is fairly different. And I'm surprised that you're so stupid that you don't understand that, but whatever. Some film critics should just not be critics. They don't know what the hell they're talking about. But yeah, quite frankly, those scenes that take place outside of suburbia kind of feel a little bit more like Last House on the Left, if you want to get a sense for what I'm talking about, right? So I can't say I disapprove of what they did there because it worked pretty well. And I love the direction they took with this, and there aren't any plot holes to speak of. There's nothing that really stands out as being terrible about the movie. It's all done very well. All the actors do a very good job in the film. I can't complain about much of anything with the new Halloween movie. Maybe it's not the best thing ever, but I would definitely say it's one of the better Halloween movies. Notably, I don't like anything after 3. I really don't like those movies that much. 4 is okay, but 5, 6, just not a fan. Don't really like those movies at all. And I really don't think there's much redeeming value to them either. But this one I like, I would say, probably more than 4. I still like 3 on its own merits a lot better than most horror movies. But I don't consider it really the same as all the other Halloween movies because it's not a part of the whole... It is technically a part of the franchise, but... if you just called it Season of the Witch, it would probably be just as good, and people wouldn't even care. They'd just think it was kind of cool that there was this little scene where you see Michael Myers on a television. It would have been a nice little nod rather than something that pissed everybody off, right? So that's the context to me liking the third one. But if we're talking pure Halloween movies with Michael Myers in them, this is one of the top 3, man. This is definitely one of the top 3. I don't know if it beats out 2, but it's definitely in the top 3. It's that good. If I had to give a ranking, I'd say probably 7.5, maybe 8 out of 10. It's not perfect, but it's pretty damn good. They didn't really do anything bad with the movie. Keep in mind, though, I also liked Rob Zombie's Halloween. Both of them. I liked both his first and second Halloween movies. I felt like they were an interesting direction to take with the Halloween franchise. I feel the same way about this one. I feel like it's an interesting direction to take with the Halloween franchise. And I feel like there's actually more room for them to do something after this. Because I'm not going to give anything away, but as with most Halloween movies, there's at least a little bit of suspicion left at the end. Well, you know how Halloween movies work, so I can't really give you the ins and the outs of it. I'm not going to spoil anything for you. But if you know Halloween movies, then you probably know at least one of the things that's going to happen. And all I'm saying is, I would love to see a sequel of this. That's all I'm going to say. Would love to see a sequel to this. And hell, the way it's looking, it appears that this one is going to sell very well. It's heading for like an $80 million opening weekend, which is, I guess, not amazing, but it's pretty damn good. It's gonna break records. Maybe not the records everybody would think it was gonna break, but thanks to how much money Venom made, and now this making so much money, apparently October 2018 is going to be like a banner year for October movies, and movies in October. So yes, if you're on the fence about it, well, I don't know why you would be, but absolutely recommend going to see it. I think it's fantastic. It's definitely worth whatever ticket price you have to pay. It may in fact be the best Halloween movie since the first one. I don't know if I would say that, quite frankly, but it's definitely one of the best movies. One of the best Halloween movies since the first one. So, yes, definitely worth checking out. Loved it, loved it, loved it. Can't wait to get the new Halloween movie on Blu-ray or 4K or however I decide to get it when it comes out. So, yeah, that will be awesome. But obviously I can't show you it right here because it just came out in theaters. So, yeah, those are my thoughts. Thanks for watching, you guys. Catch you later. Peace.